Hello and welcome. My name is Jane Vinet and I'm your host for today's edition of UpFront. For those of you who've grown up in British Columbia, the Boys and Girls Club is synonymous with fun, friendship, and family. Today, we're going to take a deeper dive into this long-standing organization. I'm excited to introduce my guest, Karen Love, Executive Director of BGC Central Vancouver Island. Welcome, Karen.
Thank you so much for having me. I love talking about what we do.
Awesome. So let's start with the name change, Karen. That's a big change, especially from a branding perspective for any organization. Why BGC Central Vancouver Island?
So all of the BGCs across Canada were all connected to BGC Canada. So they have been around for 125 years, and it was a big decision for them to change the branding after all those years. So BGC started as the Boys Club across Canada, then they started to serve girls and it became the Boys and Girls Clubs. But now, they just realised that, not everyone identifies as a male or a female. And if we say that we're an inclusive organisation, they just felt that the name didn't really reflect that, whether you're talking about the kids that come to the programmes or whether you're talking about staff. So they did a lot of research with our donors, with our community, with our participants, just to find out how do we rebrand without losing the essence of what we do.
Okay. Well, there's a big focus on diversity, equity, and inclusion today. So it's understandable that you want to broaden your programming for everyone, including your staff, to make sure everyone has opportunities. So that's fantastic. And I'm assuming then that has also resulted in changes to your programming. So let's go through. You guys have a ton of programming. So let's jump right in. Why don't you tell us a little bit about all the amazing things BGC does? And let's start with the little ones, the early learning program.
The little ones. So we offer early learning programs ages birth to 5, and that's at our Ladysmith location and also a few locations in Nanaimo. Research is showing just the value of having really good service for the littlest, because they're going to be our future adults and we have to make sure we're helping them get off to a good start. The benefit of coming to an early years program is by the time the children then transition into school, we've already given them a lot of the skills that they will need to actually go into school. And who doesn't want to work with babies all day?
Yeah. So what kind of training would your staff have in the early learning program?
Good question. So we have early childhood educators, we have infant toddlers specialisation, and we also have early childhood educator assistants. We're also government funded, so our Ladysmith location and our two Nanaimo locations for our early years are actually $10 a day sites as well. So again, a huge bonus. We're the only $10 a day provider in Nanaimo at this moment in time.
Those childcare spaces are invaluable in our communities, so that's fantastic. Now, what's the difference between the early learning and the childcare program?
So the childcare is typically ages 5 to 12, and that's usually before school at most of our locations, and then before and after at some locations too. And again, we pick up, the families drop the kids off in the morning at our locations, then we use our fleet of vehicles, we give them activities, keep them busy, provide breakfast, then we use our fleet of vehicles to take them to school, and we drop off at a number of different schools. So we serve from Ladysmith all the way up to Comox Valley, so that's a lot of programs that we run. We've got 14 locations for our out-of-school care programs, and we drop the kids off. At the end of the day, our staff go back, we pick them up, we bring them back to club, and that's when they get all the fun activities, they get snacks, they get activities, they get all sorts of things just to keep them, we actually have a vision that all kids should have the same opportunity. And we find as well that a lot of our kids struggle, especially today, you've got the pandemic that we've just come out of. So we really want to make sure that, we offer kids opportunities that they wouldn't have elsewhere. So they do not sit around for 3 hours watching TV or reading books. They're actually engaged in activities for recreation, for leadership. We teach them cooking programs. We have a whole host of what we do to help support the kids with their social skills and their growth and development.
Well, we've been hearing, sadly, since the pandemic, that the impact of the isolation on the early years, we're seeing children starting kindergarten who have some greater deficits, especially around socialization. So being able to bring families back into this. Did you guys operate during the pandemic, Karen?
We actually did. We closed down for a month because we had to make sure we had certain safety, guidelines in place. So we closed down and then we gradually opened up. We also worked with the government because they wanted childcare providers to support those essential services workers. So we actually had an influx of medical, fire, police, because we knew that those services were essential for the community still to go. So the government did request that childcares try and open up some spaces. But, we're fully operational. We have been now for the past year and a half, and we don't anticipate any other closures in the future.
So, I was looking at some of the photographs on your website, some of the activities that, it almost looked like the kids were doing archaeology. They were outside. I saw them in the forest. I saw them. There was one photo that I'm sure we'll show here with a gigantic tarantula. That kind of freaked me out a little bit. But yeah, you really do offer such diverse and a broad range of programming for kids.
We do. Yeah. We just like to offer something different. There's never enough childcare spaces and there's never enough staff to fill them. So we want to make sure that parents know when they come to, whether it's our BGC location or any BGC location, that their kids are really loved and cared for. The main focus of BGC is relationship building. And that's what's behind the mandate of every club across Canada. And here in Central Vancouver Island, we really focus on that and building strong relationships. Sometimes we hear from our participants who have left our programs that they, without BGC or without Boys and Girls Clubs, their life would have taken a different direction. We have staff who come back who used to be kids in our programs, and now they're staff, they're wanting to be teachers, and they've learned so much from being in our programs. So we really want to make sure that kids get every opportunity that we can give them through our fundraising efforts as well.
That's fantastic. Okay, so we've covered some early learning and childcare. When I think of BGC though, I remember seeing the yellow bus going by in the summertime with all the kids heading off to summer programs. So day programs, camps, do you still offer that programming today?
We sure do. So in the summer, we offer 8 weeks worth of summer programming at all of our locations. And we also offer 2 weeks over Christmas. We don't close. Again, we're not inconveniencing parents because a lot of parents work still over Christmas. We offer spring break programming when the schools are closed, and we also offer PD in service days. We only close 12 days per year for public holidays and 3 days per year for staff training and development. So that's one thing that makes us stand out from many childcare providers is the length of time that we're opened. But yeah, summer programming is just so overwhelmingly busy. I wouldn't like to be, I always envy the staff. I always say I could not do their job, and that's not a nice thing to hear from the executive director, but I can run the business, but I do not have the skills that our staff do who work every single day with all of these lovely, amazing kids.
Wow. So since you brought it up, let's talk a little bit about your hiring. You must have to hire an awful lot of people to be able to run such Central Vancouver Island with that many organizations that you're running. Are you currently looking for staff, hiring?
We are hiring for staff. So right now we have 120 staff positions that run all of our programs. And post-pandemic, the workforce is changing and people are looking for different opportunities, working from home opportunities, a combination of both. You can't do that with childcare. No. You have to be on site and working with those kids. So we really, it's an ongoing struggle for us, Jane, to find staff. We're always recruiting. So if any of your viewers are looking to, join us, we do a lot of internal training to get you to the level of what we want for our staff, but what we look for in future staff members are a passion for children and youth, and just a passion to help kids succeed. A lot of our children that we serve really struggle, and we want someone to build a strong connection with them. We have a lot of staff who are trainee teachers, trainee social workers, trainee children and youth workers, and they get a really good grounding coming to work with us. But then when they become summer staff, we tend to have most of our part-time staff want to stay with us over the summer and do summer programming, so there's that consistency for the children. They get to know the staff, and we take them all over the island. We take them to Victoria. Last year we took them over to Vancouver. Anywhere that we can get within a good driving distance. We have a fleet of 14 vehicles, so we always want to make sure that we're taking our kids out and giving them those opportunities. One of our former board members, actually, she always remembers us because of the buses over the summer. Because our mum, single mum, she couldn't afford to take her to a lot of places, but the board member remembers getting put on a bus at 11 o'clock in the morning and getting to see places on the island she never got to see. So stories like that resonate with us, and that's why we want to continue providing those opportunities.
Okay, let's move into some of your other programs. It's not just for little kids.
Yeah.
You have a whole host of teen and youth programming. So tell me a little bit about that.
So our youth programming the past sort of 2 or 3 years, we're really trying to increase what we do. Because what we typically find in childcare is that when kids reach 10 or 11, they don't want to come to childcare anymore. They're too grown up for that. And they don't want to be with their sisters and their brothers. So we start to look at taking those kids at ages 10 and 11 and offering another program so we don't lose them, because we know that our relationship, as I've said, is the main part of what we do. So we have 7 different youth programs, ages from 11 all the way up to 18. And they run in Nanaimo, and we've just opened up some new youth programs in our new centre up in Parksville.
Okay, well, since you brought it up, Karen, let's watch this clip about one of your pretty cool programs called Purple Girlzillas.
I love the awesome people here. Everyone's super nice. Really like it when we go to the mall. Anywho, the adult people are very nice. We always have fun. I learned that trying new things is fun. Back out.
So, what a great name.
Isn't it?
Who named this program, Karen?
So the programme has been going for about 4 years now, and it was the girls at the time who came to the programme. You want to empower kids. You want to ask them for their input, and they chose the name, and it's been called that ever since. But now, you know, with the name change to BGC, we're starting to get some of the kids who are coming to the programme wanting to change the name, because it's not just for girls, it's for anyone who identifies as a girl, and that's really important for us for that inclusion piece. So we've put it out to the group that currently come, and just asked them what would they like to rename the programme. So they're working hard on finding just as cool of a name as Purple Girlzillas.
Well, you know, we have been focusing a bit on the idea that BGC is very inclusive, and I know that you offer some programming for the LGBTQ members, 2+ members. Can you tell us a little about that?
So we have a phenomenal programme called GenQ. It's not therapeutic, it's not to make people feel excluded. It's all about welcoming kids from that community to be with their peers, but it's peer-led as well. And by that I mean that the person or staff member who runs the programme is actually a part of that community themselves, because we can talk all we want as community around how we feel that the challenges are, but for those youth, they like to hear from people who have had the same experiences as them. And it's a really, really valuable programme, and it came from a need. That's one thing that BGC, especially here on Vancouver Island, is very good at. We don't want to replicate services, we want to fill a missing need. So many years ago, the Nanaimo Pride came to us and said, look, we're feeling this need from our youth. Is there anything we can do to help? And right away, BGC stepped in, and we now run our GenQ program from our 5th Street location. It's a free program, as any of our youth programs are. Parents don't pay anything, but it's very peer-led, and we have anywhere from 15 kids to 30 or 40. Oh, wow. Yes, it's really, really popular, and we're actually doing a GenQ prom. Yes, we're doing a prom this year, and all our information will be in the GenQ program for those kids that come, and it's open to the community to just come sign up for the program, and because it's peer-led, it's the most valuable part of the program.
Okay. Well, when I was going through your website, I noticed you had a program called Flex Your Head. I gotta admit, I was curious about this one as well.
So Flex Your Head was a programme developed internally by BGC Canada, and a number of years ago I had the privilege of being involved, so I'm very supportive of Flex Your Head. It's really a programme about educating youth about how to talk about their mental health. No matter how far we've come, there's still a stigma around identifying yourself as having a mental health challenge or needing support with your mental health, and especially so for youth. So we have a programme that just educates them on how to talk about it, how to ask for help, help, how to recognise the signs that you're struggling with your mental health. And it's an 8-week programme, again, free for any youth to attend, and it's on our website. And it's very research-based, so we know it works. And so anybody who feels that their kids, ages, I think it's 13 to 15, are just kind of struggling about how to talk about their mental health, we'd love to be able to expand this programme in Nanaimo and into our Parksville and Comox Valley area.
Wow. You know, since the pandemic, we've been hearing so much about the impacts on youth mental wellness. So really fabulous that your Flex Your Head program is really looking at addressing some of these issues, because it's going to be a while before we really understand all the repercussions and how it's affecting people. I mean, just thinking about being isolated at home, being only in front of a screen, all of these things have definitely impacted teens and youth, missing prom. So when I think about it, the list is so long. I try not to think about it anymore, to be honest with you, but here I am doing it again. So, but my point about this is, so you guys, like you said, you look around and see what people are not doing. So how do you get the ideas? How do you develop these programming ideas?
Wow, that's a good question. I think it's more on feedback we get from our community. And by community, I mean our staff, our parents, and our kids. We've just been involved in a huge learning and impact project with BGC Canada, where we are surveying our kids on certain areas that we know that we should be delivering service in, whether that's recreation, homework, skill building, relationship building. And with that feedback, we then analyse that as a leadership team, and that's what helps guide us. And it actually aligns very much with our new strategic plan. We have that right now up to 2025, and again that was based on feedback from the community. That's what generated the GenQ program, that's what designed the Purple Gorillas program. We know childcare is always a need, and we focus a lot on that, but we know that we don't want to lose those kids, so what can we do to keep them? So who better to tell you than the kids themselves? And that's what we've done.
Oh, that's fantastic. So parenting, kids don't come with a manual.
Mine didn't.
Mine either. So I know you also offer some programming for parents. Tell us about that.
So for parents, we offer that either in person, up in our Comox Valley office, we have an office in Courtenay, or we're actually offering them virtually. And what it does is it connects parents to other parents. It's a regular 6 to 8 week program, very curriculum based, but it really helps parents support each other. And what we found is that quite often parents keep those relationships, because there's nothing worse, as you know, Jane, is being a parent and thinking you're the only one that's having this challenge. I know when my kids were younger, I used to love going to groups and you think, oh, so mine's is not the only one that's doing this. And that's the value of our parenting programs. And it's also run by a former parent who used to attend the programs. So we have 2 staff in our Courtenay office who are very skilled at doing our parenting programs, and we get great feedback from them. Right now, we actually just did a shout out for our new programs, excuse me, and we were inundated with people wanting to join the parenting programs, and that's a sign of the times that parents are struggling and they want to be connected again.
Okay, well, you know what? It sounds so much like BGC is still very much for families and community. So there's something pretty exciting that's coming up. You know, you mentioned that your youth and teen programs are free. So obviously, with that volume of work happening in community, you as a nonprofit are relying on donations. So tell us about your new big event, the Color Run for Kids.
The Color Run. So this was an idea that we had in 2020, but then the pandemic hit and everything got shelved. And then this year we just thought, you know what, we need to get this event out into the community. With being BGC and being very children and family focused, we wanted something that our kids could participate in, and it wasn't a financial barrier for our families to take part in, but we also wanted to reach out to the community and talk about what we do and expand our awareness. So the Colour Run is, I think it's 2.6 kilometre run through Nanaimo. All of the details are on our website. If you go to BGCCVI.com, there's a lovely big button on the right hand side, Colour for Kids, click on that. You can register, you can volunteer, but we also have a mini run for the little kids. So don't feel that, you know, having to take your 3-year-old around a 2.6 kilometre run, walk, shuffle, whatever you want to do. We have a mini run for the kids. And at each stage, we'll be throwing out coloured powder. And that's what gives it the Colour Run.
So logistically, you're saying, you know, little kids, but so this race is for everyone.
It's for everyone. If you're a seasoned runner and you want to run, it's not timed. There's no performance. There's no expectation put on you, and there's no pressure. It's just a fun day. And each of our sponsors get their own colour station, and they're the ones that will be throwing out all this lovely coloured powder. So by the time you come to our finish festival, which we have, you'll just be covered in head to toe in multicoloured powder. How is that not a fun event? Very safe, it's environmentally free, it's non-toxic, it's washable. We had to look at all these things. It's been quite a logistical, work to try and get it done, but we knew we wanted to do this because it's so fun and it's so family friendly, and we're the first one in Vancouver Island to run a colour run. So this is going to be our annual event every single year, that we know that people are waiting to come and do it. So if you've not signed up already, and I hope you have, Jane, if you've not signed up already, sign up now. And we also have a finish festival. We have some food trucks, we have a few vendors, but we have lots of activities for the kids. So all of our staff are volunteering that day at our clubs, and they're coming out and doing activities for kids to keep your kids engaged for even after the run. We've got, I think there's an ice cream truck, there's cupcakes being sold, we've got some music going. You're there for the cupcakes. We've got some community agencies talking about what they do in the community, because it really, for us, it's all about pandemic has been tough on communities, it really has, and we know that through other work that we do in the community. So I really think, the reason behind getting this out now is let's come out, let's get together, let's have some fun, and let's raise some really much needed funds for BGC, where we are a not-for-profit, and even though we offer childcare, we still have to have a huge fundraising target every year.
So what is the timing of the event?
It starts at 11 o'clock, and it starts off at Beban Park, takes you round through Labio, through the forest there, and then the main colour, the finish festival, is actually at the 2.6 kilometre, and the end down by the name has just escaped me right now, but just at the end, the map is actually on the website as well. Okay. And it's just a fun event. You can bring your buggies if you've got kids, if you've got someone in a wheelchair, they can come. If you want to bike around the event, you can bike, or you can just run.
So do you register as an individual or a family, or can organizations register, or is it
all of the above? All of the above. If you want to register a family, but if you just want to come and take part, I believe it's $25 per person, it's $50 for a family, and if you're already a BGC family, you get 50% off.
Oh, wow.
Yes, so we just want people to come out and just, have fun, and by the end of it, we provide a white t-shirt. So once they do the run, when they come back, that white t-shirt is just going to be covered head to toe, as will your hair and your shoes and your pants and everything else. But hopefully people will come through with a smile on their face, and that's what we're looking for.
So when we get to the end, there's a party. I mean,
there's
so
a party.
It's like you said, it's not a timed run. So if it takes
you an hour, 3 hours, the official time is from 11 till 2.
Okay.
But you can hang out as long as you want after that. So just come out and join the fun.
Okay, and the party at the end goes till?
That should finish off around about 2:30.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you said a white t-shirt. I was going to say, what does one wear to a colour run? So do you provide the t-shirts?
That's provided in your membership, your registration. So right now, all of our funders get their logos put onto our white t-shirts. We've been so fortunate with our funders. This is our first event that we've run as an organisation, and it's the first one post-pandemic, and we had all of our sponsors really step up. Our main sponsor is Wheaton Hyundai. They are running the event with us, and they were our main sponsor, and just a huge thank out to all of our sponsors. Without that's where we get those donations, because the registration package actually just covers the cost to run the event, and the package with the t-shirts, the marketing and all that, but it's the sponsorship that really makes it a success when it comes to fundraising.
Do you have a fundraising goal for this event?
We have a fundraising goal of $30,000. And right now, should I tell you what we're sitting at, Jen?
Well, I would love if you'd share that.
Yeah, we're sitting just round about the 22,000.
Oh, Karen, that's fantastic.
We are so appreciative, and again, that's all down to the fact that we are so supported by our community to either register or to be a supporter of our organisation.
Wow, this is fabulous. As you said, the pandemic curtailed so much activity over the last couple of years. So to be able to have something where absolutely everyone in community
Anyone.
can take part, and it just feels like the whole idea of it is going to be so festive and fun, and rain or shine.
Rain or shine, we will be there. Yes, we will be there. We won't have umbrellas, but rain or shine, we will be there.
I'm just
Hopefully shine, because we don't want the powder to be running off people.
But I'm just thinking, you know what? It would kind of give that whole tie-dyed effect. Very
easily.
fun for kids. Love that.
And even seniors, you know, we'd love some seniors to come out and take part. And they can, again, it's to get people out. The pandemic has been so tough on people. We're all disconnected. And this is just a way of, you know, getting us reconnected with each other.
Okay. So we're going to be putting up on the screen here where people go to register.
Wonderful.
You register online. If people need another way to register, is there another way? Is it only online?
It's all online through Eventbrite.
Through Eventbrite.
Eventbrite,
Okay.
yep. And that information is all on our website. They just click register, and it's all safe and secure to pay online.
Okay, so can people actually register on site at the event?
They can, however, there probably wouldn't be t-shirts for them.
Right.
That would be the downside, but they're more than welcome. If we've got spare t-shirts, absolutely. But anybody, if you want to register at 5 minutes to 11, you can come down and register.
Oh, Karen, this is exciting. I can't wait to be there.
You're volunteering there.
I know.
That's right. Thank you. We love our volunteers.
Okay, well, I would just like to wish you the best of luck, and we're going to wrap it. Do you have anything you'd like to add at this point?
No, it's just thank you so much for allowing us to talk about what we do. You know, we've been known for 52 years now as childcare, but we do so much more, as you've helped me to identify today. We're very, very good at what we do, and it's all about relationship building, and opportunity changes everything.
Ah, great tagline. Love it. Thank you so much for joining us today, Karen, on this segment of UpFront. A big shout out to all the volunteers and staff here who helped us put on this segment today. I hope to see you and yours at the Color Run for Kids.